Hey everybody, it's me, John Anthony Chihak Soltero, and I am back with another edition of Grade That Comic. This week I am reviewing and breaking down Shadecraft from Image Comics by Joe Henderson, who's also the showrunner for Lucifer on Netflix, and Lee Garbett, the artist. This is a really interesting comic book because last week I graded Stray Dogs, and Stray Dogs is has a completely different visual look, but is a lot darker. Whereas Shadecraft kind of has a darker look, but is a teeny bit more lighthearted. It is definitely a teen plus book if you're curious about uh, like a ratings type system, and it stars the character Zadie Liu. She has a power called Shadecraft, which essentially means she can manifest and manipulate shadow like creatures, characters, and so on and so forth. Like, basically, uses the dark as a weapon and as a form of protection. The really cool thing, what I really identify with right off the bat, I love the character design. Being that, as I said in the last video, I love character driven stories. Shadecraft is another character driven story. While Zadie is the main character, and there's not even an argument as to who that is, it's definitely her. Her parents play very good peripheral characters. Her brother, another really good peripheral character. And then her friends at school um, play really good supporting roles, without a doubt. Issue one is done so well it like hooks you in. This is what you want from a comic book series. It's kind of like one of those things when you're watching a TV series. You want that first episode to hook your viewers in. And I feel like Shadecraft really does that. I really wish I had a first printing of issue number one, but that sold out. I only have the B cover, which is not nearly as visually stunning. It doesn't feature Zadie in her uh, costume or her outfit that she seems to wear pretty much throughout the first four issues. And that's to say that the first four issues take place over what seemed like one, maybe 2 days. So Garbett's artwork is great and really brings out the concept of what you're dealing with. You have characters who look the part. A lot of times with artists, they tend to be able to draw one way or the other. They can draw adults really well, or they can draw younger characters really well. And some artists tend to draw younger characters, both male and female, as a lot more mature. They'll draw females with more curves. They'll draw males with more musculature than they're going to have when you're in high school. And I think the dynamics that Garbett gets between the teenagers in this book and the adults is done so well because there's a vast distinction, but at the same time, his lines are super clean, and you get the feeling that between the lines and the colors on this is really what makes this book work. One of the things I really enjoy about Shadecraft, I'm a big DVD extra kind of guy. Like, I like looking at behind the scenes, especially if it's animated or something, and they interview the voice actors and they talk about how they break certain things down. Shadecraft at the end of the issues has a breakdown of the pages in black and white, so you can see what Garbett's line work is, and then flip through the book at the beginning and see like what the finished product is. I love that because I'm also a big fan of like the Marvel Essentials and Showcase Presents, where you just get the black and white line art. And with certain books, like Man Thing with Mike Plug, it really stands out. Like, I almost feel like the colors detract from it. And while the line art itself could stand and you could do this as black and white, the color just makes it that much more powerful. And when I was going to school, um, in design, you're taught that color shouldn't save your design. It shouldn't make or break your design. So the idea that color really takes like this amazing line art and makes it that much better in terms of your visual says a lot. However, comics is completely visual, and it's that balance between your visual and your written that makes comic books such a different medium than anything else out there, because there is such a balance to it. Henderson's writing is a lot of fun. Now, while there is a massive cliche in this storyline, and I do mean massive, like when it hits in issues, the end of issue 3, and blatantly hits you in the face in issue 4, it's kind of not a detractor. However, it really is in a way almost a little bit of a letdown, because you're hoping that this character is going to be able to stand in a certain light. No pun intended by that, because Shadecraft, she's within the shadows. However, that cliche, even though you should see it coming, I don't think that I necessarily did, although now thinking back, I definitely should have. I think it's going to play more with character development. I know it played more into character development for one of Zadie's parents. And I definitely think if you are a fan of darker storylines, but nothing that's too gothic horror, I would definitely recommend Shadecraft. Shadecraft is one of those books that is, I believe, going to stand the test of time. I really hope it goes on for quite some time. It is on my pull list. I have basically relegated all but 2 books on my pull list to independent titles. That depends on how you see one book. It may be three books that are not independent titles. But I've decided to get back to my roots in independent comics. And I like mixing up genres now. I'm really, really enjoying it with things like horror and superherodom, vigilantism, and just some kind of like oddball stuff like Ultra Mega, which I will be reviewing in the near future, because that miniseries is all done and it's just being included in the Skybound anthology series. Definitely check out Shadecraft. Shadecraft is a wonderful story. As long as you keep these 2 creators, Henderson and Garbett, on this book, you've got a winner in my mind. I would put this up there with any other story out there. I mean, there's a couple of really quality books that I'm reading right now, and Shadecraft is definitely one of them. So time for the grade on this, and I'm actually working on eventually getting a software program that I can just pop the grade up, and then over here or whatnot, you can see the pages of the things that I'm looking at. And I kind of just teased it right now by bringing the sign up a little bit. I give Shadecraft a 9.4. Again, this is fresh off the rack. This is near mint. The only thing that kind of brings it down a little bit for me, like I said, is the big cliche punch in the face that you get with this. But it definitely doesn't detract. It kind of actually has a lot of possibilities along with it. As you can see, I added my little Foley painting by Foley and Grayson's grandma Marilyn, and then Charles Ball and his wife sent me that really amazing little Mr. Whoopi. I don't know if it's crocheted or knitted. I do know there's a difference, but I believe crocheted. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching, and everybody who likes the new content. Hit like, subscribe, please comment. I love interacting with everybody, and I'm trying to keep these videos under 10 minutes because I know that's also important. So until next time, keep reading comments and hit me up in the comment. Keep reading comics and hit me up in the comments.